Hello everybody. The topic I am going to explain to you now is aggregate supply. After the completion of this video, you will be able to know what is aggregate supply, graph of Shortrun aggregate supply, graph of Longrun aggregate supply as per Keynesian school of thought and as per new classical school of thought. Before moving forward, I would suggest you to note these references for better practice and best exam preparation. Furthermore, I also suggest you to copy all links given in description and paste them in your Word file for future reference. These links are arranged as per the syllabus. First of all, talking about Shortrun. Shortrun is a period of time in which at least one of the factor of production is fixed. Factors of production are divided into land, labor and capital. Land mean all natural resources, labor mean human resource, and capital mean man-made resource or machinery and technology which is used to produce goods and services. If we can hire new workers, we can purchase new land, but we cannot purchase new machinery, technology and tools, then it would be short-run period of time. In short-run period of time, aggregate supply is positively sloped and it shows positive relationship between price level and real GDP, and it is shown as this is real GDP on X, or we can label output origin point, and this is price level. In short-run period of time, aggregate supply curve looks like this. This is short-run aggregate supply, SRAS. It shows that there is positive relationship between price level and real GDP. If price is P, real GDP will be Y. If price increases, aggregate supply or real GDP or output will also rise. So there is positive relationship between these two. And if there is change in price, then it will show movement along the same curve from point A to B. So movement along the same curve in short-run aggregate supply is caused by two factors. One is change in price, and it shows movement along the same curve from point A to B, or from point B to A if there is decrease in price. It shows movement along the same aggregate supply curve. The second reason for movement along the same aggregate supply curve is shift in aggregate demand. For example, if initially we had aggregate demand curve at this point, then this should be the equilibrium. If aggregate demand increases to AD1, equilibrium will change and shift to move to point B. Now coming to the long run aggregate supply. Long run is a period of time in which all of the factors of production are variable. Like we can purchase new land, we can hire new workers, and we can purchase new machinery and technology as well as tools. Then it would be a long run period of time for us. In long run period of time, there are two concepts of long run aggregate supply. One is known as Keynesian school of thought, and the other point of view is new classical school of thought. The concept of new classical school of thought is really very simple. As per new classical school of thought, there is always full employment in the long run without any kind of government intervention. Long run aggregate supply is, as per new classical school of thought, is vertical straight line, and economies are always at full employment in the long run without any government intervention, and it is not affected by changes in price. For example, if price was this, aggregate supply was this, then if there is rise in price, again since economy was at full employment, so again real GDP or national output or aggregate supply will remain the same. And as per Keynesian school of thought, there are three segments of aggregate supply curve. First segment is horizontal straight line from point P to, let's say this is point A. Afterwards, this segment shows that if there is rise in real GDP from Y to Y1 or even Y2, there is no change in price. But after point A, there will be positive relationship between price level and real GDP or output. Let's say now real GDP will rise to Y3 and price will rise to P1. And if price further rises to P2, and there will be rise in national output to Y4. And after this point, let's say this is point of full employment, and we can label it, let's say, point E. Then aggregate supply curve will become vertical straight line like this. So long run aggregate supply curve will be vertical straight line after point E, showing that now output cannot increase more than this level. Even price increases to P3 or even increases more than this. Let's see again the drawings of Keynesian long-run aggregate supply curve. Simply draw a horizontal straight line initially from point P to A, then make it positively sloped from point A to, let's say, point E, then make it vertical straight line above point E. So this is long-run aggregate supply. This is the point of full employment, which shows that we cannot increase real GDP or output beyond this level. And this full employment in the long run, as per Keynesian school of thought, is achieved through the government intervention. So see you soon with the next video.